Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about the top 5 stories from classic Doctor Who that I'm most looking forward to seeing for the first time. So, now, most of you who watch my channel know there are some stories of classic Who I haven't seen yet. I've never been in an all-fire hurry to see them all because I love there still being some for me to see for the first time. It's a neat thing to be able to watch classic Who episodes for the first time. I enjoy that. So, I'm kind of just right now the top 5 that I'm most looking forward to seeing, the ones I've never seen before. A couple caveats. One, I'm not going to have the Aztecs on the list because I actually do own a copy. One of my subscribers, actually, Steve Knievel, sent me a copy because I do have a P.O. box, and my P.O. box is in the description in case anybody wants to send me anything. And he sent me a copy of that. I have that right there. I haven't had a chance to watch it just yet, but I will be watching that soon and reviewing it soon. Also, I'm not going to have Abominable Snowmen on the list because that is one I've been really looking forward to seeing. Really, really bad as I consider it, and Web of Fear to kind of be two sides of the same coin. But then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, they're using the Fury animation again. And we know how much I love the Fury animation. So I'm like, eh. Which, don't get me wrong, at this point, with all the news about BBC America potentially pulling out on funding, I should just be happy we're getting it animated at all. But still, I'm having a hard time getting hyped up for Abominable Snowman with that animation. I'm still supporting it. I'm still getting the steelbook, but yeah. So with that out of the way, with those two, one I can watch anytime. One I know I'll be able to watch in just a few months. I'm going to talk about the top 5 other than those that I'm really fired up about. And I'm just going to do them in the order I wrote them down. Number 1 on the list is, of course, Dalek's Master Plan, because it's Dalek's Master Plan. I have never seen, heard, experienced Dalek's Master Plan before. I've never listened to the audio. I've never watched reconstructions. I know some stuff that happens in it just from being a big fan like I am. You pick up on stuff as you go along. And I've seen a couple scenes from it and various things. So I know some of the stuff that happens, but I have never actually sat down and just went through it. And I really want the first time I really experience it to be like an animated form, which Lord knows when we'll get, because that would be a heck of an undertaking. But I like to think that one day, eventually, we will get an animated version of Dalek's Master Plan in 2D or 3D, one or the other. And I really am looking forward to that. I mean, it's kind of the holy grail of Doctor Who stories, I think. I think episode-wise, if you're just doing a single episode, then probably episode 4 of 10th Planet's the holy grail episode. But if you're talking about a whole story getting, back or animated or whatever, it's probably Dalek's Master Plan. I mean, it's a 12-episode epic. I mean, I shouldn't have to tell anybody watching one of my videos what Dalek's Master Plan is. So naturally, that one has to be on the list. Number 2 on the list is the Dalek Invasion of Earth. I have never seen this story. I've actually never seen any story from season 2. I've seen clips and bits and pieces like Susan's farewell and the Doctor's farewell speech to her from Dalek's Invasion of Earth. But I've never seen a full story from season 2, oddly enough. And I've always wanted to see this one as well, just because, again, it's another Dalek story. I like the Daleks a lot. They're my favorite Doctor Who villain. And I think you just kind of need to see some of these. Plus, I've only seen, I think the only Dalek story I've seen of Hartnell's actually is the Daleks. And I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It drags a bit. And plus, there's some iconic imagery in it. I love watching the Dalek come out of the water, and the nice shots of just the Daleks going around London at the time, 60s London. That's pretty neat. I think the DVD has updated special effects you can watch on it. That's pretty cool. It's just another one of those I've kind of always wanted to see, and I feel like as a Doctor Who fan, I definitely should see. I've just never really gotten the chance to see it yet. Number 3 on the list, this one may surprise people, but probably not people who are used to watching my channel, and that is the Space Pirates. Because I have to find out for myself what I think of this story. I hear so many people talk negatively about it. But I, on the other hand, I'm like, this is Robert Holmes we're talking about. Robert Holmes does no wrong, as long as there isn't a giant squid involved. As long as there's no squids involved, we're good. Because yes, I will admit, the only Tom Baker story I think is just complete trash is Power of Kroll. But I don't think that's Bob Holmes' fault. I think that's the fact it's directed by the same guy who directed Underworld's fault. And they just shouldn't have attempted that on that budget. But I've always wanted to see the Space Pirates. I've heard everything about it. I know it was originally supposed to be 4 parts. It got extended into 6 parts. Supposedly even Troughton didn't like it. They don't really do much the first 2 or 3 episodes. I've heard a lot about it. I know it's not supposed to be that good, but I would love to see an animated version of Space Pirates that really takes the Macroterra approach and really thinks outside the box and reimagines it. Maybe cuts down some of the dead air. Trim it down to 5 episodes if you can. I don't know, but maybe chops away some of the filler. Gives us some great visuals and animation. I want to be able to have a valid opinion on this story. This is kind of my holy grail, in the sense that I have to see this story to have my own opinion on it. I've got to. I don't know why it bugs me as much as it does, but it does. I want to see an animated version of Space Pirates, because I have to know if I'm going to be like, wow, everybody's right, or if I'll be like, what are these people talking about? This animation is marvelous. Much like Macroterra, it has turned it around. I have to know. So I need that. This is definitely one of the ones I want animated because I have to see it. I just have to. And number 4 is The Wheel in Space, which I really still hope somehow we get, because 1, it's the only story we need to complete season 5 at this point, and that sounds like a crazy thing to say, believe it or not. 2, it's Zoe's first story. I like Zoe a lot. 3, I just want more Troughton. I'm not too keen on the Cybermen design in this one, especially their helmets. I don't really care for. Plus, I will admit, I hear the story's a bit of a bore. Never seen it. Plus, a third of it survives. That would be great. I could still watch 2 of the surviving episodes, including the final episode. I have a story where the final episode survives. I love that. So yeah, I would love for the missing episodes to be animated on it so I could see it. So I could round out season 5, see Zoe's, I could actually watch all of season 5 at that point if they did that, in animated or live action form one way or another. I'd have Zoe's first story, and it's more Troughton, and I never argue with more Troughton. And then last on the list, oddly enough, lately, has been Underwater Menace. Because half of it survives partially, and I'm a big fan of surviving footage of Troughton, because Troughton is just so good, and his physical mannerisms and his facial expressions, he really sells this character. And so having another story where half of that survives, I want to see. Plus, I feel if there's any story that might get animated with BBC America pulling their funding, I figure it might be a special edition of Underwater Menace. They only have to do 2 episodes. Maybe if they do the 3D format like they did for Web of Fear, but tweaking and improving it some, I can actually get some kind of complete version of this story to see, and I can at least really enjoy episodes 2 and 3. Plus, it'll be another Troughton story I haven't seen before. And I know this one has a bad reputation. I know Underwater Menace is not considered good. But I wonder if I approach it with the same mindset of Horns of Nimon, which is, it's entertaining. I don't take it seriously. It's not going to win any Oscars. Then again, most of the stuff that wins Oscars these days shouldn't win Oscars. So, it's not going to win any major awards or anything. But it could be entertaining. That's how Horns of Nimon is. It entertains me. So this, with some of the over-the-top performances and stuff, I could at least find interesting, maybe. So I want to see that just for that, I think. Plus, again, half of it survives, and I'll enjoy being able to watch episodes 2 and 3, even if I'm not as keen on 1 and 4, if they don't look as good as I think they need to. So that is the top 5 stories I am currently wanting to see at the moment that I've never seen before. I would like to know what you think of these stories, so comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon. If you like what I do and would like to support what I do, there is a link to my Patreon down in the description below. My entry-level tier is only $2 a month if you're interested. I want to give a special shout out to 2 of my top tier patrons, the 5th Doctor and Stephen Crane. I really appreciate their support. I also have a P.O. box, as I mentioned earlier in the video, so if there's anything you'd like to send me for an unboxing video or a review, my P.O. box is listed down in the description below, and my Amazon wish list, a link to that is in the description below as well if there's anything on that you'd like to send me. Most importantly though, thank you for watching.